Hi everyone, it's Jeanette, Crafty Dork. Just here to show you how I make the door for the journals that I'm doing. This is the second journal, and this is how I decided this colour would go on it. And I'm using ice spruce. So I start off, I got this and I wrote it down last night so I could tell you the name of the, it'll be in the description below. I've got the 4 of them on a sheet and I printed them like the full size. So I've got one of these colour box blending tools. I've had it for golly, ages. I suppose I'm not sure if you can even still get them, but the little fine piece just works really well, just to darken this area around here a bit. So did I have a we'll do it with this one. So I've got that down a bit. Yeah, I'll just try and keep in frame there. So I just go over it lightly first with the, just in a bit of a circular motion, just to put the ink on. Remembering that this, well, I thought it may run because it's my printer isn't one of the, I get them mixed up, the laser and inkjets. I think mine's a laser, oh I don't know, I can't remember. It's one of those days today, guys. I really can't. The kids are here and they've actually just nicked off down to take the little puppy for a walk along the beach. Daddy's home from the mines, so it's Pop and Daddy are taking them down to the beach, so that's really nice, and they'll have a play in the sand and the pardon me, and the seaweed and all sorts, so that's good. So I've just got some colour on there like that, and you could use a blending tool, and the dogs are going crazy, so hopefully they're not back. If so, I'm going to have to stop and start all over again. Then what I do is I just get one of my paint brushes and I just get a little extra paint on the brush and just pop it on. And it just darkens that up a bit. And gives it a bit of a definition. So I go all the way around and do all that. So I won't do the whole lot because we can. You can see the difference on this side and that side. Then I do across here as well, and I'll do part of that for you. So I go across here as well. And you could, if you wanted to, you know, dab that down onto I've got a tile here that I use now and again and just dab it, but I just find it easier. I don't have to clean up the mess. I just do it on the ink pad itself, and it doesn't do any harm to either the ink pad or the brush. So you can see that that's defined that as well, and then I just go around that little part as well. Like that. So you can see how defined that is. Now I also just go underneath the door and just flick it down a bit. And it just gives that little bit of a shadowed effect. And the same down here, just because it's, you know, it does get a bit darker under those areas. So that sort of just finishes that off. And then I look to see, you know, if the sun was over this side, this part of the door would also be really shadowed. So I just do one side. Okay, now the kids are back. There you be. As you can see here with my Stanley knife, I've cut out the, not Stanley knife, just my craft knife, I've cut out the door, and that way our little Gnome, his little face can stick behind the door. Okay, now just to finish that off, I'm just going to use, let's see if it'll work this time. It stopped working on me last time. Oh no, it's going to do it. So I've just got this, it's a silver leafing pen, and I just dab on those nuts and bolts. It's not working quite as well as I would like. That one worked a little bit better, but it just gives the illusion of some metal. That's what happened last time, so I think this is nearly ready. Perhaps I could, let's see if this would work. I'll just get a bit of that and just paint it. No, I'm not going to get the sort of black bolt, but when it dried, I went back in with my black fine marker and just did the centre bit with a bit of a dot and around the edge. So you could, you know, that's another option as well. So let's see if I can get that blob. I mean, there's no, I don't really need to, no, it smudges and it's stuck there forever. Oh well, you can always put a, I used to always say with card making and what have you, you can always put a flower there, or I suppose I could always put a leaf or some trim down there, couldn't I? You can see how it just adds a little bit to it when you, and this is a better way to do it with the fine little brush. I think it's a number 4. A 2 would probably be just as effective, if not probably better. So I just do that, and that one I should have finished this one off before I did it. Darken it a bit. So that's how I do the door, and how I did the door on the first one that I did. But on that one I used Vintage Photo. Now I don't know where I'll put it to show you. Right before my eyes. On this one I just did it, and I did the brown, darkened the edges on the brown. I've got the black, and I might go over those with a little bit of I've got some enamel, black enamel, and I might go over that and and that might just give a little bit of a pop. Or I could do it with glossy accents, but I think the black enamel would look really nice. So I may as well finish those little, while I've got that paint, otherwise it will dry and I'll waste it. So, and then after it is dry, and it doesn't take very long at all to dry, just a little one up here. Like that. Oh, that's a bit of a shame, isn't it, that one? We'll see what we can do. You never know, we might be able to rescue him. If not, it's only a piece of paper, isn't it? Okay. Then I've got some pens that I got from Kazaz, and I just go around the edge and then see how good I am and just do a little, I might need the bit bigger one in there in the centre, just to perhaps just put a dot. I mean, it's not like it was before, but it will, that just might be better to go around with it. Darker one. Thicker one, I mean to say, darker. Okay, so I hope everyone's well. I've had a couple of days not feeling the best, but you deal with it, get on and get over it, don't you? Yeah, so I think, you know, it's just effective to just do those final little, takes a bit of time, but hey, we've got all the time in the world, and while we're doing this, we're not thinking about other rubbish. Yeah. Now, let's see what we can do here. It's not as dark. I might be able to go over a little bit later. Perhaps if I get some black paint. And really let it dry. There we go, it's getting darker as I go over it. Well, it's not 100%, but it's better than it was, isn't it? Okay, and I will just see if I can just darken. It's darkened a little bit, so my own worst enemy when it comes to this sort of thing. When I was learning watercolour painting, the teacher said, Jeanette, if you want it perfect, go and take a photo. And I thought that was the best advice that anyone's ever given me with painting. And each time I sit down, I mean, I haven't done any watercolours for a long while, but when I sit down, I always hear that in my head. You know, don't make it perfect. Yeah, so that's that. And then I'll just get my craft knife out. And the idea is to keep your craft knife on the, oh, it's wet still, I should be waiting. I will wait a bit, because if you keep your knife on the glass or tile, whatever you're cutting on, and spin your paper around, and that way you get a nice clean cut. And there, I've mucked it up already. But anyway, we've got this one, and then what I do after I've done all of that, I get my Mod Podge out, or no, my matte medium, multi-matte medium. This one's a Ranger one. The other brand I've got is Diane, is it Diane Winkley? I know Kazaz have got a different brand now when I buy it. So we've done that. Next step, I'll see how far we can get without those kiddlywinks being around. So I've cut it out, and what I do is just put a little bit of art glitter glue down the cross of the door and around the edge. Then I work out where my little fella's going to go, and I sort of want his eyes to be one either side. It's a bit cute. So I just poke him on like that, and then I cut out like that. Now with the other one, oh, and then I did go back in, but it's not really necessary. Just put a little bit on, because I'm going to stick it down later anyway, so it doesn't really need to be like that. Then I work out how I'm going to decorate it. And I've got this, it came with a bunch of flowers, and it worked really well on this one. Just gives the illusion of moss on the tree. There is a fabric that you can get from Spotlight here in Australia. Susanna Easdale got it, and I think that was brilliant. And I was going to get it, but I ended up thinking that I would utilise what I've got, because I'm supposed to be on a saving spree. No more spending for a little while. We'll see. Which is probably good. It's a good thing, because you don't use all the bits you've got, do you? So we'll just chop that up there. Now you could put this on afterwards and cover up the signature stitches. They're on the back of the book. There, and you know, I might even do that this time. I might leave that until the end and just cover that up. I don't mind the stitches, but we'll try an alternative for the next one. So but what I do, and we'll do it when I finish the cover, is just center it down there, and again I use my matte medium, and I've got a brush that's got Where are we? Back this way, back this way. Where am I? Here. Oh God. It's just like a stippler, and I just stipple it all over. I paint it first, stick it on, and then just stipple over the top of it so it holds it all in place. So we will do that, but we'll do that at the end. So that's what we've got in place, planned for that. Now with this one, the last one I had it up across the door, and a little bit under the door. So we might, we've got enough there. Yeah, we've got enough there. We'll just put a little piece under there, just so that the door's down the bottom of the tree and it's got some grass around the front door. So I can show you exactly what I did with this one. So let me get my little brushes out the way. Get back on to the paper. And we're going to have it pretty much to the side, so reasonably generous with this. And I put it on fairly thick, as you can see. You can see it's pretty thick, and that way this will press into it. Just clean my brush off there, put that one in the water and get the other one out, and then I just get generous amount again. This dries clear, so I just stipple it on. And that worked really well for the other one, so it should work pretty good for this one too. Little bits of grass sticking back in. I've got a girlfriend who's the florist around here. I might have to check her out, see if she's got any more that she can sell me. Or I'll send myself some flowers to get some more. That'd be an idea, wouldn't it? Okay. So we've got that. Okay, I'll just clean off my, because this is a glue as well, so as you can see, and you can use it on paper as well, so I'll just clean that bit off there. But I will use this fabric glue. It's a bit sturdier. Just going across the bottom, up the top. And then we'll just pop that, give it a bit of a and that's our cute little cover. Then I will be adding a little book plate to the top, probably sort of wear it there eventually. And down the side. I might even, I've got in my little cutouts, let's see, I did have a couple of little mushroom bits, like fungi type. Where did I put those? I think I was very neat and put them away. And I think you remember these books that I did up. I cut some of these out of the mushroom and fungi book. It doesn't look like there's any fungi bits there, but we will. Where did I? I'll have to have a look and see, but there should be some little bits of, you know, the fungi that grow on the trees, the orange. Oops, sorry, I belted you around there. The little orangey bits that we could put up the top there. There it is. Let's see. See, something like that. It's wet, so let's just. Yeah, here's little bits. That might be a bit too big, mightn't it? I quite like that bit. Let's see. When I cut, I pull the scissors, as I cut, I pull the scissors to the side on this little edge, and it just gives a jagged effect. So as I'm cutting, I'm pulling. And when you're fussy cutting, you probably all know, move your paper, not your scissors. And I think I'll go around because that's green there a little bit, so we'll just sort of fluff those little bits out there. So all these books will be different. Actually, I might even put that up the top. And then we can put this over the side or over the top of the house. Yep. And I'll put some of this on the back of it. The whole cover, I've actually, the other one I've Mod Podge, matte medium the whole lot. It just gives it extra strength, and you can put it over the top there too. It just holds it down and it gives it a. I don't know if anyone's watched Anna from Anna X1, I think she is. She hasn't been on, she hasn't put any new videos on for ages, but she used to do a lot of graphic 45 tutorials and projects, designer team projects, and she was brilliant, and she used this a lot, and that's where I got the habit from. And anything that she put into her mixed media, like little mini albums, she just put a finger in, put it all on, and then plop them down wherever, and it just looked amazing. Okay, so that's going to be the front of our cover. So we'll leave it at that, and when we've finished with the signatures and all, we'll put that down the side as well. I might even put a little piece perhaps under, you know, to sort of come out around the edge of that. Yeah, might need a doormat too, mightn't we? So we'll see how we go with that. Okay, we'll leave it at that for a little bit. I'll be back with the next video, which will be doing the inside cover and perhaps a piece of ephemera to go through, and I'll show you the layout of all the journal pages. Okay, I'll go and see where these kiddlywinks are. Well, perhaps I won't. I'll just stay here and play. Okay, thank you for watching. We'll see you next time. Until then, happy crafting. Bye for now.